Welcome to Oxford News This Week. I'm Elgin Nichols.
And I'm Alexis Ware. In this week's news, Village of Oxford approves a new budget, K9 Stray Rescue is looking to expand, and a donation pays for new emergency response gear.
Stay tuned. Learn more about these stories and others. The Oxford News begins right now. North Oakland Veterans of Foreign Wars donated $4,000 to purchase 4 video scopes with cameras and LED lights. They are designed for use in each of the Oxford Fire Department's ambulances. The scopes help paramedics insert breathing tubes, and the technology is important as they are successful about 95% of the time. Traditional scopes do not have cameras or lights on them, making the installation of breathing tubes difficult.
Oxford Village Council voted 4-0 to approve the 2019-2020 budget revenues and expenditures balance, about $1.9 million. The general fund is supported by a property tax rate of 10.62 mil, generating about $1.1 million. As part of the new budget, the village will add a new part-time employee to handle DDA marketing and communications. In addition, the village will hire a 4th full-time police officer. The hiring of the 4th full-time police officer will allow the village to cover all of its 7 12-hour shifts during the week with a full-time officer. The new DDA employee will help with communicating information such as updates on the M24 construction project beginning in 2020.
President of the K9 Stray Rescue League, Justine Hubbard, has created a GoFundMe page to raise money for a new building. She has a goal of raising $275,000. The new building would potentially have entrances for new dogs only, separate areas for small dogs, and quiet areas. And the money would go towards the purchase of property as well, and property repairs. So far, 1,100 people have raised just over $1,500. The current building has $60,000 in foundation damage, so the money is needed badly. If you would like to help, you can go to GoFundMe page entitled K9 Rescue Expansion Efforts. That again is K9 Rescue Expansion Efforts.
Oxford Parks and Recreation Department has a new program called Memorial Maples. Individuals can purchase trees for only $300 each to memorialize deceased loved ones. There are currently 17 maples planted along the main road of Seymour Lake Township Park. The trees come with a personalized engraved stone. For more information, visit oxparkrec.org or call 248-628-1720.
The latest sworn-in Eagle Scouts from Oxford are Lance Kennedy and Logan Streeter. The 2 members of Troop 366 were awarded Eagle Scout badges at Oxford United Methodist Church. Both have been Boy Scouts since the 1st grade. To become an Eagle Scout, 21 merit badges must be earned as part of the requirements. In addition, a candidate must plan, develop, and provide leadership for a service project benefiting religious organization, school, or community projects. Well, that's good. We have 2 new Boy Scouts that are Eagle Scouts.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to meeting those individuals and doing stories with them.
Well, speaking of things that kids are doing these days, they just had graduation at Oxford High School.
A bunch of graduations over Bridges, as well as OHS had their graduations. And, you know, I think we don't always recognize the tinier graduations within like the elementary school and middle school. Somewhat of a graduation for those students as well, either going into middle school or going into high school, coming out of middle school.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
And you know, besides that going on, we have something called the Tough Mudders, right? Hello,
I'm very
Mudda.
excited for that. Excited and scared because I have to run it, and I have not been running the miles I was supposed to.
You have to run? Somebody is forcing you to run.
Okay, well, I don't have to run. I would like to run.
You're very athletic, from
But-
I understand your background.
Yes,
Yeah.
I was,
Yeah.
but not so much anymore. So we'll see how it goes. It's coming up pretty soon. It's next week, next weekend.
I've heard a story where you're able to lift dead weight, 2 gerbils at the same time. Is that right?
Well, 2 gerbils is not going to help me in this competition.
Right.
It's not a competition. I shouldn't say that because everyone helps everyone, as I understand with this Tough Mudder.
They do.
So I'm looking forward to
Yeah.
the experience. It's my first one. I've never seen it before either. So.
Sure. If you're in the pond and you're lying low, they step right over your head and
Well,
keep right
if
on
I'm
going.
in the pond, hopefully someone pulls me up because I can't swim, which is another
Oh.
obstacle that I'll have to face there. But I think I can stand in it, hopefully.
They didn't tell you about the 30-foot deep end?
No, they didn't.
Okay, well, that's okay.
I'll wear floaties.
Yeah, just remember scream really loud.
Well, also Cody Wright, he does school sports.
Right.
He's going to be there running with me, and he
Oh.
can swim, which is a good thing because I can't. And hopefully, if I go under or something, he can just pull me out and we can keep running.
What you want to do is have about a 15-foot string hooked to him because he is a very good swimmer. No
Well,
question about
good,
it. So
'cause
that'll
I'll
help you
need
out. Now, we have also a program coming up for the park here, Seymour Lake.
Township Park.
Township Park.
Or Carnival.
It's a carnival.
Yeah.
Yep. And lots of people, they have Ferris wheels and what do they call them, merry-go-rounds, all kinds of things. you know.
Exactly. I always say that it's not a carnival unless you have a Ferris wheel. That's the stamp of a carnival or a fair, whatever it is, you have to have a Ferris wheel.
And you can see that for miles.
Yeah,
And by the
yeah.
way, they also have entertainment. You know what the dates are?
It is June, I want to say 27th through
Mm-hmm.
28th, right? So Saturday and Sunday, just a few weeks away. It's in the month of June. So nice way to kick off the summer a little bit.
It is. And you know, there's a lot of signs out there, you know, also,
Oh, yeah.
you know,
Riding
talking about
through
it.
town,
So,
you'll see them. You can't miss them.
yep. And I think they have special pricing, you know, for people that want to ride, you
Do
know, for the
they?
kids, where you get a wristband.
Oh,
something
yeah.
along that line.
Yeah. It's like an unlimited wristband. So instead of buying tickets, little tickets for 1 or 2 rides, you're unlimited in how many rides that you can go
Right.
to for the entire day.
And they
I'm
have,
gonna get one of those.
They do have entertainment too. They have a band shell that they have bands playing all day, pretty much. You know.
Well, this
So-
is my first one. This is actually my first official summer here at OCTV in Oxford because last year I started here about a year ago and it was towards the end of the summer in August. So I bypassed all of the fun summer stuff. So I'm really looking
Yeah.
forward to it.
Yeah, they usually have fireworks too. You know, so we'll have to
Fireworks
see.
are
A
always
great,
nice.
great time for all you folks. Don't miss
Yeah,
it.
a lot
The-
going on.
The other thing, Strawberry Festival going on in Leonard.
Oh, it's in Leonard.
Yep, Leonard
Okay.
in Addison Township, and that's coming up soon also. I believe that's going to be the 20th of June, if I'm not mistaken.
So back-to-back events. They'll be busy.
Yeah,
pretty
it'll be
soon,
busy.
Right as school ends.
Right. And don't quote me on that date because I'm just pulling that
May
out
not
of
be.
wherever. But
in
that's
the
another
month of
fun
June.
time. I believe it's in June, yeah.
Okay. Or this summer. Can't
This
go wrong
summer?
with saying
Can't go
this
wrong with
summer.
that.
Yeah,
No.
sometime this summer.
Yep, and that's a great time when you like strawberry, sundaes, shortcake, that kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Good
Lots of
stuff. Lots of strawberries. Yeah.
Goodies.
Yeah, they are. Okay.
And that about does it for Oxford News this week. If you would like to learn more about stories and these stories and others, you can pick up a copy of the Oxford Leader, or better yet, you can catch us on our website at occtv.org or on YouTube, and of course our regular cable channels Spectrum 191 and AT&T Channel 99.
Coming up soon on OCTV's very own Cody Wright with school sports and schooling around with none other than Alexis Ware. And you won't want to miss Auto Talk and Science in the News with Dave Kenny.
Well, actually, before we go, we have to mention that in this week's news, Cody Wright won't be in it, and you're actually doing Auto Talk, correct?
What happened to Cody?
Well, he's just not in the news this week.
Okay.
Yep. So it's
Maybe
it's
he's making
us
news
day,
instead,
It's us
huh?
week.
Making
Yep.
news instead? Okay.
Yeah,
Who knows?
he'll be back next week, as
Okay.
well as Dave, right? Maybe?
Hey, that could be.
Could be. I'm Alexis Ware. Thanks for watching Oxford News this week, where we bring your news closer to home.
And I'm Elgin Nichols. Remember, always be kind to your friends and neighbors, and thanks for watching.
Welcome to Oxford Community Television. We are proud that our 4 communities continue to choose local programming, local news, sports, community issues, familiar faces, celebrations, and commitment to each other. Welcome to Oxford Community Television.
Welcome to Science in the News. I'm Elgin Nichols filling in for Dave Kenny, who is on vacation. And these stories are taken from the publication New Scientist. Sea creatures use stem cells to regrow entire bodies from a tiny piece. Marine animals call sea squirts can regenerate their entire bodies from nothing but a tiny fragment of a blood vessel. Their secret is a special population of stem cells floating in the blood. The finding could help us understand how such regenerative abilities evolved. In the long run, it could also help doctors regenerate damaged or lost tissues or even limbs in our own bodies. Sea squirts are oval or cylindrical animals, a few centimeters across. They belong to a larger group of animals called the chordates, most of which are backbone vertebrates, such as fish, birds, and of course humans. That means sea squirts are our closest living non-backbone invertebrate relative. But no one had any in-depth studies showing which cells give rise to the new body that is being made, says Savannah Casimir at the University of California, Santa Barbara. She and her colleagues studied the cells in separate fragments of blood vessels as they regenerated and found a population of cells that express genes known to be involved in the process. Destroying the cells halted regeneration, while adding just one restarted it. Casimir calls the cells primordial blast. But Casimir says it is likely that at least some of them are many more primitive invertebrates, such as certain jellyfish and flatworms, which can regenerate their bodies from fragments. But vertebrates cannot. At most, they can regrow a lost limb, or some salamanders do. Is that more primitive animals used to have this ability, and then it somehow got lost as vertebrates evolved? The biggest question in the field is to figure this out and understand how we might be able to start regeneration in a human way when we're injured. In time with this, Casimir found that the primordial blast expressed a gene called POL3. This is similar to a vertebrate gene called POL5. That is important to pluripotent stem cells. The team compared all the genes in the family to find out how they were related. And it looks like POL5 from the humans and POL3 in the invertebrates might have evolved from the same ancestral gene, says Casimir. Now, Smart Glove works out what you're holding from its weight and shape. Ask a robot to pick up an egg or a bowling ball, and it may not know how to adjust its grip to account for the different weights. A new Smart Glove allows a neutral network to learn the shape and weight of the object just with sensors embedded into the glove, which could be put to use with robots in factories or homes, and can even teach us about our own human grip. There's been a lot of hope that we'll be able to understand the human grasp someday, and this will unlock our potential to create this dexterity in robots. Right now, it's hard to imagine a robot loading a dishwasher, but this kind of technology could transform things like that. A force-sensitive film is attached to the palms and fingers of a knitted glove, and a network of 64 conductive silver threads are stitched into it. When pressure is applied at the 548 points where they intersect, the electrical resistance of the film beneath decreases, letting the glove detect that weight and shape of an object it's wearing and it's holding, as well as the pressure created as the hand moves. According to Subramanian Sundaram at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, this data is passed on to the neutral network, which learns to look for patterns. It can tell whether you're holding the object with a long edge, like a chalkboard eraser, or opposed to something more spherical, like a tennis ball. By understanding this, correlations between different pressure points, the natural network was able to detect objects with 89.4% accuracy. That's pretty accurate. The glove is relatively inexpensive to manufacture and can be replicated easily. Sundaram says the team would like to test it using more people, which could take into account range of hand sizes or cultural differences. And the way we hold our coffee cups, for example, may be different across cultures, he says. Well, that's it for the edition of Science in the News. I'm Elgin Nichols, filling in for Dave Kenny. Stay tuned to Oxford Community Television for more.
Welcome back to another episode of School News. This past week, students finished off school for the year district-wide. A few of the schools had end-of-the-year events like the 6th grade C.J. Barrymore's trip and the 7th grade trip to Michigan Adventures in Muskegon. The middle school also had their yearbook signing party, and OHS finished up last-minute testing and turned in their final assignments. Last Friday goes without saying because it was the last official day of school kicking off summer break. Since school is out for the summer, there are no school scheduled events besides an Oxford Virtual Academy Dual Information webinar starting at noon until 1, as well as a Board of Education meeting housed at Oxford High School at its normal start time of 6:30. Stay tuned for the Schooling Around segment Mondays through Fridays at 11 a.m. and 3 o'clock p.m. This week we have our special guest, John Ochins, previous Schooling Around and School News host, back for episode 103. It's part one of part two of a part two special, so be on the lookout for that as we begin to kick off our summer segments. We'll also be looking into some summer camps and activities for students all summer long. Before we go, we would like to thank the entire school district, its parents, teachers, and students for letting us see what great curriculums we have here. And it's not too late to submit prom and graduation pics for a chance to be on School News. Remember that if you would like to be in attendance at one of the board meetings, the entire community is welcome to come out. They are housed at different events every time, so be sure to check with the right location before showing up. The meetings always discuss policies, educational goals and concerns, curriculum changes, and annual budget maintenance. And that about does it for this episode of School News. Until next time, I'm Alexa Zorin.
Hi, I'm Elgin Nichols with Oxford Community Television.
And I'm Dave Kenny.
And we represent Minutes by Minute, in which case you want to catch local information that's going on with your government officials.
That's right. Whether you live in the village of Oxford, Oxford Township, village of Leonard, Addison Township, we'll cover it all.
All of the above, and we'll look to see you there. Welcome to this edition of Auto Talk. I'm Elgin Nichols, filling in for Dave Kenny, and these stories are taken from the publication Automotive News. Audi takes aim at Mercedes-Maybach with ultra-luxury A8. Audi said at its annual meeting that the range-topping A8 sedan line will expand to include a new luxurious derivative. We are thinking about revolutionizing the top-end class with a completely new concept for the A8, CEO Bram Scott told shareholders on May 23rd. The A8 family consists of short and long wheelbase versions of Audi's flagship sedan. When the A8 debuted in 1994, Audi delivered a technological highlight with the all-aluminum body, helping establish the brand as an equal with Mercedes and BMW. But Audi and BMW have struggled to break Mercedes' dominance of the high-end sedan market. The Mercedes S-Class remains the top-selling upper premium sedan, and Mercedes has widened its appeal with the Maybach badged version. Global sales of the Mercedes S-Class increased 7% to 77,700 last year, even though the model is aging and is due for renewal next year. Audi's promise to shareholders that the new member of the A8 family would be a particularly luxurious and prestigious derivative indicates a direct competitor to the Mercedes-Maybach S650, which starts at 202,770 euros, translated into $225,472 in Germany. More than twice as expensive as the equivalent entry-level long wheelbase version. Audi said at its annual meeting that it will invest about 14 billion euros into electric mobility, digitization, and highly automated driving. In order to finance its high upfront expenditures, Audi will systematically utilize available earnings potential, for example, by expanding its market position in the upper premium segments. As part of the profit push, Audi also plans to significant increase in sales, volumes, and earnings at its Audi Sport line of high-performance R and RS models as they roll out new derivatives, including the new RS Q8. In this next auto report, GM postpones launch of diesel engines for big trucks in 2020. GM has not released towing capacity, payload, and fuel economy ratings for big pickups with a new Duramax diesel engine, which will be priced starting at $2,495 over a 5.3-liter V8 model and $3,890 over a 2.7-liter turbo model. General Motors is postponing the launch of a new inline 6-turbo diesel engine in the Chevrolet Silverado 1500 and GMC Sierra 1500 until the 2020 model year. The EPA's emission certification process is for the engine is taking longer than anticipated as well, creating a slightly delay according to a memo from GM sent to dealers on May 21st. The full-size diesel pickups were expected to go on sale for the 2019 model year in early 2019, but months after gasoline versions started arriving at dealerships last fall. GM said 2020 diesel pickup production will begin soon, but the delay means dealer orders for the models will be canceled and must be resubmitted. Dealers and customers impacted by the cancellation will be offered a replacement 2020 model according to the memo. Notification and timing of the replacement orders will be provided later, the company said. The company spokesman said dealer orders for the 2020 diesel models will open soon. Any orders were placed for the 2019 model year. And the U.S. government has taken a stricter stance on emissions certification, particularly diesel engines, since Volkswagen's group's sweeping emissions violations emerged in September 2015. You remember that one. The 3.0-liter Duramax engine in GM's first turbo diesel is a full-size GM pickup since 1997. In March, GM said the engine paired with a 10-speed automatic transmission would achieve segment-leading power of 277 horsepower and 460 pound-feet of torque. GM has not released towing capacity, payload, and fuel economy ratings for the Duramax diesel model, which will be priced starting at $2,495 over the 5.3-liter V8 model and $3,890 over the 2.7-liter turbo model. The new diesel engine is being produced at a GM powertrain plant in Flint, Michigan. Good news. According to the memo, the Silverado, like its Sierra sibling, will receive updates such as adaptive cruise control and expanded availability of the 10-speed transmission for the 2020 model year, confirming earlier reports. Well, that's it for this edition of Auto Talk. I'm Elgin Nichols filling in for Dave Kenny, and if he were here, he would say, as always, may the wind be at your back as they cruise down the life's highway. And stay tuned for more at Oxford Community Television.
right. Hello, everyone. I'm with the OAA White Champions. Boys, how do you feel about that? Yeah! Let's go! And we are watching OCTV.